Look at that. You made it to Tuesday. I am extremely impressed with all of you, okay? And including myself, because I made it to Tuesday also. And, sometimes it's a guess. But anyway, good morning, kids. Glad to have you with us. It is, in fact, the 9th of June. Larry Altman with you, St. Johns County Morning News, 102.1 FM. We are at 1240 AM, 1021news.com, MixLR app. We're doing Facebook Live this morning, WFOY Radio St. Augustine, and you will see some really great people on camera. We're going to get to them, and this show, the first half hour, is about emergency operations here in the county. I mean, we all depend on it, so don't go anywhere. But here's the forecast. National Weather Service is telling us that we have a 20%, actually up to 30% chance now of showers and thunderstorms today. 85 degrees are high, winds gusting to 18 from the east. Tonight, 20% chance of more showers and thunderstorms, down to 75, and tomorrow, 10% chance and a high of 88. Currently, WFOY Broadcast Center, 77 degrees. Traffic, Florida 511, major north-south routes, Daytona to Jax. No accidents reported this morning. That is just, you know why? Because we have here in studio a couple of great people from St. Johns County. Wayne Larson, of course, who comes in every month. He's the Director of Public Affairs. And that in and of itself is a pretty major thing to do. And he brought with him somebody with EOC, Kelly Wilson, Deputy Director. Am I correct, Kelly?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Once in a while, I get things right. I mean, look, again, we mentioned it on Facebook. It is hurricane season. So where do we go from here? What do we hope for? What do we do if?
Well, we're so blessed to have Kelly Wilson, our Deputy Director of Emergency Management, join us on this episode of the SJC Report presented by WFOY. Fountain of Youth, I think you and I are chatting, the 5th radio station to be launched in the state of Florida back in 1939, right?
37.
37. I apologize, sir.
February 11th.
I was close. I was in the 30s.
We expect a birthday cake this year.
On this episode of the SJC Report, we're just blessed to have Kelly Wilson, the Deputy Director of Emergency Management, talking about hurricane season and being prepared and being informed. Hurricane season, as you mentioned, Larry, started June 1st. Kelly, let's jump into it. Give our listeners just maybe a movie trailer overview of what the EOC is. What is it, and what makes it up?
So your St. Johns County EOC is made up of our local, state, and federal partners. It includes all kinds of county employees from libraries, parks and recreation, the sheriff's office, fire and rescue, our public affairs folks. We all are in the EOC, about 120 folks. Excuse me, and we collectively manage any large-scale community-wide disaster. We are at the high level, so what we do is we look at the entire community and what's going on, and we collectively make decisions like evacuation, sheltering, points of distribution where the food and the water, debris cleanup, all of those things are coordinated through the EOC. So that we have a single voice going out to our community.
And it's just not, which we'll jump into a lot here in a moment, hurricane season. It's just not during hurricanes. You were telling Larry and I before we started the show that the EOC has been activated for other types of weather events and COVID.
Yeah, COVID was our longest activation. We were activated for close to 2 years between testing and vaccines, and it was a partnership with Department of Health and the folks in the building. And anybody in St. Johns County that got a vaccine, they likely went through our vaccine center, which was run and managed by our fire rescue partners. So it was a collective. We don't just do hurricanes and flooding, tornadoes on occasion.
So, Kelly, you've been doing this 2 decades now. This is your 20th year. I think two of the points you constantly make, particularly this time of the year when you're out on the speaking circuit, is be prepared and stay informed. So let's jump into that. What are some ways that you constantly kind of the consistent message you send out to people that will listen to us about being prepared? What are some of the basics about being ready for hurricane season?
So being prepared is the best way that you can, if something approaches our area, we don't panic. We're ready. So being prepared, we start with, do you live in an evacuation zone? You can easily find this out on our website through our Know Your Zone tool at the SJC emergencymanagement.com. So start there. Once we figure out if we are or not in an evacuation zone, make a plan. What are you going to do? If you evacuate, where are you going? Let's make sure at the same time, once we figure out what we're going to do with our plan, let's make a kit. And in that kit, whether you're staying or going, let's ensure that we have our medications. We ensure we have a kit prepared for all of our family members, from our babies to our elderly folks, our pets. If it is not safe for you to stay, it is not safe for your pets to stay. So let's ensure that we make a plan and have a kit that includes all of our family members. The next thing I recommend you do, let's start looking around the house. Are we looking at putting shutters up on the house? Are you going to use plywood? Well, my recommendation is if you're going to cover your windows with plywood, head down to the hardware store today. Go ahead and get that plywood, cut it out, make sure it fits for the windows so that you're not rushing around at that moment that a storm is approaching. Trim your trees. Make sure that they're not close and up next to the house. Any things laying around the yard, why don't you go ahead and pick those things up now? Let's get them put away. And that way we are ready. Those are the big ones that I make sure that if you can do those 4 things, you are way ahead of anything approaching our area. So there's no rushing around. We're not afraid. We're not panicking.
And you mentioned, I'll mention again the website, www.sjcemergencymanagement.com, a great website that just has a plethora of information, including your very, very popular hurricane preparedness guide that you all publish annually.
Yes, we do. We have our hurricane preparedness guide. You can download it there and read it there. It has a lot of great information and links on it. You can also, it is in quite a few public buildings. I know the city of St. Augustine has them in some of their buildings. All of our St. Johns County libraries have copies of the preparedness because we know that some folks like to actually look at the brochure and have one in their hands. You can also give us a call down at the EOC, and if you would like some for your HOA or your group or whomever you have, give us a call. You can come by and you can pick some up from us.
That's great. So back to being prepared. I know, the basics that you talked about, having everything ready, your checklist and all this. There's a particular kind of specificity of being prepared that I know is very important to you that most people sometimes forget about, and that's that document checklist. Let's talk about that. What sort of documents should people have in their kit if they need to evacuate or something like that?
So it's a great time. I will tell you, I personally have a little folder with my things in it. They start with things that you may have that you can't easily replace. Make sure, like I keep my passport in mine. Your insurance documents. And while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and stand on my insurance soapbox. We all need to look at our insurance policies this time. Look at your homeowner's insurance policy. Make sure that you are insured for the correct amount. Look at your policy, look and make sure that you have everything covered. And probably one of the most important things I'd like to talk to about, folks, is flood insurance. Flood insurance, if you live in Florida, you need flood insurance. And I understand a lot of times you may look and you go, well, my mortgage, it doesn't require insurance. Well, or flood insurance, I should say. You need flood insurance. And I'm going to tell you a story about 2 years ago or so. I had the National Weather Service give me a call and say, hey, is it flooding in your neighborhood right now? Because they knew where I lived. And I said, well, I don't know. I was just leaving work. I was standing in the middle of the grocery store. So I said, I'm not sure. I'll be there shortly. And I turned into my neighborhood. And for the first time, because I've never been there during a hurricane, I'm usually at work, I turned in and the road I turned in on was underwater. So I called him back and I said, yeah, what's going on? Well, a cell had just set up right over my neighborhood. And in about 2 hours, it dropped 7 inches of rain.
Wow.
Well, and I live in an older neighborhood just north of the St. Augustine Airport, so it relies on ditches to drain it, and it drains into the intercoastal. Those ditches just drain naturally. Well, the tide was high, so nothing could drain. And so it was a perfect set of circumstances of a high tide and 7 inches of rain, and I had several neighbors whose homes flooded. Well, my neighborhood is mostly an X zone. It's in an evacuation zone, but it's mostly an X zone. So some of those folks didn't have flood insurance. So I need you to understand that just because you're not in a flood zone, it doesn't mean you don't need flood insurance.
And speaking to that point, Kelly, in your hurricane preparedness guide, which again is available on your website, sjcemergencymanagement.com, on page 7 of that guide, you actually have a whole page dedicated to insurance checkup.
Yes.
And to quote one of the factoids you have on that page, more than 20% of flood claims come from properties outside high-risk flood zones.
Absolutely, and you got to figure that's 20% of claims, and a lot of folks out of high-risk flood zones don't have flood insurance. So there are a lot of homes being flooded where folks don't have flood insurance. And I always like to tell people, I don't have $50,000 or more sitting in a bank account to replace things that may flood inside my house. So I strongly recommend flood insurance. And the great news about it is if you don't live in one of those high-risk flood zones, it's actually not overly expensive to purchase. It's significantly less than your regular homeowner's insurance.
And is flood insurance backed by the government? Isn't this?
Yes, there is private policies available, but flood insurance is backed by the National Flood Insurance Program. Okay. And the reason you should go buy it today is those policies take 30 days to go into effect. So don't wait till you see a storm out in the ocean and think you're going to get flood insurance. Yeah. They figured that out. It takes 30 days to go into effect.
We've got a few minutes, Kelly, before the break. I just want to kind of finish up the document checklist of the disaster kit checklist. A couple other things that people may not be aware of, such things as, have copies of your medical records, prescription information, doctors' names and numbers, banking information, documents that you may not really think about, copies of your wills and vehicle titles, things like that really can help in a time of emergency.
Absolutely. All of those things are critically important. And I'll tell you that we live in such a digital age now. Have those documents, birth certificates, things like that. Keep those types of things. But the other thing that I do tell people, sometimes people take pictures. I'll tell you right now, I have my dog's vet records. I have a picture of them just in case I don't have them with me. So at a bare minimum, if you don't want to make a folder, take pictures of those. Keep the insurance policy. Keep the things that are very difficult to replace, but like a title to a car. I do not have you. Does anybody right now you don't have the title to your car anymore. They don't give it to you until you sell it back these days.
Right.
But a lot of times, old titles, you may still have that. So those documents, keep them. Put them in a folder. Be ready to go. And while we're on the paper stuff, get some cash. Make sure you have some cash with you. Okay.
Because when those systems go down, or a particular business isn't up and ready, but is still doing business, you can get the supplies or food or whatnot you need.
Let me interject in the last few seconds before the break. If you have a pet, and there are only certain of the evacuation centers that will accept that, but
yes.
What happens if you show up and you don't have, let's say, a kennel for your dog?
Great news. We are folks over at Animal Control. They manage our pet-friendly shelters. They have extra kennels because sometimes folks show up with maybe a kennel that they take the dog to the vet in, but they might need a slightly bigger one for the dog to be comfortable in. Our animal care and control folks all have extra kennels, so we will help folks out.
Back momentarily here on the St. Johns County Morning News with Kelly Wilson, the Deputy Director, EOC here in St. Johns County, and Wayne Larson, Director of Public Affairs on the St. Johns County Report. Stay with us, kids. Glad you're with us, kids. It is 8:24 on this Tuesday, the 9th of June, St. Johns County Morning. We'll be back momentarily with our special guest, but if you didn't get the forecast yet, National Weather Service tells us 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, 85-hour high, easterly winds gusting to 18 tonight. 20% chance of more showers, and yes, we still need them desperately. Thank you very much. Low 75 tomorrow, 10% chance, high temperature about 88. Currently, we're at 79 degrees, WFOY Broadcast Center. Florida 511 traffic, major north-south routes. No accidents are showing as of right now. Let's get back to talking about hurricane season. Leading the discussion, Wayne Larson, Director of Public Affairs for St. Johns County. And with him, the person who knows all about this stuff, Kelly Wilson, Deputy Director of EOC. Take it away.
Yeah, again, so blessed to have Kelly Wilson, our Deputy Director of our Emergency Management Operations. She's been doing this for 2 decades and has tons of experience and knowledge, and she's come this morning to share it with the listeners of WFOY on the SJC Report. Kelly, let's jump back into it. We've got a few minutes left in this episode. We talked about being prepared, a lot of great tips from you. Let's talk about staying informed. There's a couple of core ways that folks in our community can stay informed.
Absolutely. So the one that we recommend for everybody is to sign up for our Alert St. John's. And you can do that at alertstjohns.com. That is how we will notify you of evacuations. Our sheriff's office even uses it sometimes for like missing people and endangered missing people. It's a fantastic way. You go in, you sign up to your location. You can sign up your business, your home, things like that. And you get to pick how you want to be notified. You can get a text, an email, or a phone call. You can set quiet times at night. And just to make sure that, and you can also sign up for weather alerting on there too. But the important thing about this is we need people to know that these will only be public safety type alerts. The weather stuff, that's up to you whether you sign up for it. But these are going to be public safety. So life safety information, this is not going to be just, things like we're going to tell you trash day got changed or something like that. So it's going to be very critical information we contact you with. Evacuation warning, evacuation notices, things like that. These are the ways that we're going to be able to notify you.
Speaking of critical information, Kelly, also another way to stay informed on your webpage is you have a tool that folks can pop in their address and go back to that Know My Zone information you were talking about.
Absolutely. On the website, they can go to the Know My Zone, get their evacuation zone. They simply put in their St. Johns County address, and they will know their evacuation zone.
Yeah, and then something else on your webpage under your Stay Informed section, you've got something called Weather Stem.
Yeah, our weather stems, and the great news is we just got our purchase order, so we have 2 new weather stems going in, and it is hyper-local weather. There's one at the EOC. There is one that is unfortunately under the weather, so to speak, up at Station 9 in South Ponte Vedra. That one is getting worked on currently. Out in Hastings, we're going to be putting one up in the Fruit Cove area, and there will be one going down in the Crescent Beach area. There is, let me see, I'm trying to go all around there's one at the St. Augustine Marina, which has a beautiful view of the city and the marina, and you can get real live weather at that particular location. You can click the link on it and click any one of those weather stations and see the live video.
Speaking of weather and getting weather information, another way that folks can stay informed is, and you have this in your hurricane guide, is get a weather radio.
Yeah, get a weather radio. That is the fastest way to get weather from the National Weather Service. It's kind of an old school thing that we like to remind people of, and it will go off middle of the night, middle of the day to give you weather alerts. You could hit the button at any given moment and hear the live weather radio, and that's a great opportunity. It's a great way to get the weather.
8:28. We've got about a minute. I have to throw this in because people have asked me this question. Mandatory evacuation. Are you going to force me to leave?
Well, it's like we tell people, if we issue an evacuation, it is for you and your family's safety to get out of the way. You're under a voluntary evacuation every day of your life. You live in America. You can leave whenever you would like. So if we issue an evacuation, it is for your safety. It's time to go.
Okay. And, one of the things I've because I manage an apartment building, and I always tell tenants when they ask me, do what you want. Make sure you write your Social Security number and contact information in permanent magic marker on your arm, please.
Absolutely. Because there may become a moment where our first responders, our fire and rescue, and our law enforcement, it is too dangerous for them. So if you were to choose to stay in an area, you may very well be on your own.
Kelly Wilson, Deputy Director, EOC here in St. Johns County, and Wayne Larson, the Public Affairs Director here in St. Johns County for the St. Johns County Report. Thank you both for this great information.
Yeah, it's been great. Again, one more selfish plug for Kelly's operation, www.sjcemergencymanagement.com. Download the Hurricane Guide or give them a call, and they'll get some copies to you and your HOA. Kelly, thank you so much for being here to continue to make us feel safe and secure and confident in our local government operations when it comes to emergency management. Thank you.
Thank you all for having me.
We appreciate what you folks do. Thank you so much. Don't go